The latest that this orange bastard is trying to pull, the latest stunt he's trying to pull, he's insisting that while Congress is in recess right now, the Senate, he wants recess appointments for these thugs, bums, liars, miscreants, grifters, and convicts that he's appointing to various positions in his corrupt, filthy regime that doesn't start till January 20th, asshole. But he's demanding, he's clenching his little fist and pursing up his little pissy mouth and heaving his bulk around the stage with his little hands going this and that way, demanding recess appointments. Because I think the orange son of a bitch realizes that an awful lot of energy will have to be expended. No, I mean this, to convince some in the U.S. Senate who may still be Republican. They're Republican cowards. They're little whiny-ass, hide-in-the-shadows cowards, but they're not quite Christian fascists. But those people will not go along with the idea of one more violation of the Constitution of the United States with these recess appointments. Now, the other thing that the orange bastard has come up with, an attorney, a guy named Mark Paoletta. And, you know, this is what I was talking about last week after Harris's defeat, that the law profession has shown itself in so many instances to be enablers where it concerned the fascist takeover in this country. And I mean the law profession. I'm not singling out individual lawyers. You know some of the names of these rotten fuckers. But the law profession itself never took a stand and said, you know, if you're going to defend somebody who was trying to overthrow the Constitution of the United States, if you're going to defend somebody who has shown by their behavior that they are treasonous, if you're going to defend somebody who, among their first actions would be to decimate the Justice Department. You've heard that word before, haven't you, you fucking phony lawyers? Justice? You've heard that word right. And the bar associations and the legal profession never made a statement that said enough of this horse shit. If you defend this traitorous dog, you're losing your accreditation. Now, what the legal profession fell back on, the same way the press did, the legal profession fell back on, well, everyone's entitled to an attorney, even the most heinous criminal. To which I say, yeah, okay, right. With one exception. I mean, the Supreme Court carved out an exception for this orange fucking bastard. So I'm going to carve out an exception also. My exception is that any attorney who would defend and work the judicial system and the legal system to keep this orange son of a bitch alive and viable as a candidate, and now president-elect, the way these lawyers did, if I were king of the legal profession for a day, those lawyers would be unemployed, at least as far as certified attorneys are concerned. But that's just me. Anyway, back to Mark Paoletta, an attorney who is leading the orange bastards' transition in the Justice Department. Yeah. In a post on X, this son of a bitch said, quote, if these career Department of Justice employees won't implement President Trump's program in good faith, they should leave. Those employees who engage in so-called resistance against the duly elected president's lawful agenda would be subverting American democracy, end quote. You phony, hypocritical fuck you. I mean, to use that kind of language. So the Trump transition official is warning the Justice Department against resisting what this Nazi son of a bitch is trying to do. Ever hear of this happening with any other president-elect in the history of this fucking country? Any time at all in your lifetime, or anything you've read in high school or college education? Where in the history of this country has an incoming sniper for the president-elect wandered the halls of the Justice Department with his AR-15 saying, all right, any of you fuckers who don't go along with what God, Christ, Lord Jesus, Donald Trump is saying, you might as well get the fuck out of here. It's a new era, you dumb bastards. Yeah, the new era is to hell with the legal system, to hell with the Justice Department, to hell with the Constitution. And this attorney, Mark Paoletta, added, those who take such actions as resistance will be subject to disciplinary measures, including termination. So, what this Trump fucker is saying is very simply, you go along with what I am the Justice Department transition head from legal operation, although it was slow-walked by Merrick Garland. I am the person now in charge for the Nazi Trump, and I am telling you, any resistance, you will be terminated. Okay. Now, what this son of a bitch put on X apparently was in response to, which I didn't read, a Politico article that reported that many Justice Department career attorneys, and let's remember who they are. They're civil servants who typically remain in their posts from one administration to the next, regardless of which party holds the White House. Now, that's not true with the person who heads the Justice Department. It's not true with the Attorney General. It's not true with certain key positions that an incoming president has a right to appoint with confirmation from the Senate. But the people who do the shit work, administration to administration, what this Nazi Christian son of a bitch, ex-con, dumpster dweller, Steve Bannon, called the deep state, those people are being warned by the incoming Nazi administration that if they don't stand up and salute, or no, stand up and Sieg Heil, the new leader, they'll be terminated. But these Justice Department career attorneys apparently are, this is what the Politico article said, they're alarmed by what a second Trump presidency is going to mean. Now, they're basing that in part on what this son of a bitch did during his first term. He regularly butted heads with government employees, particularly at the Justice Department. Now, he had his so-called baby boy guardrails up at the time, people within the upper levels of his administration who made sure that he kept his thumb in his mouth and didn't go too far overboard. Well, those people are gone now. Trump is a quick learner where it concerns corruption. It doesn't take him long to figure out a grift, no matter what the situation is. He'll figure out a way to come up with gold sneakers or Trump University or exfoliating the Justice Department, you might say. And the orange bastard has said that his biggest mistake when he was president the first time was the fact that he hired Jeff Sessions. Remember Jeff Sessions by Alabama? Some bitch could hardly talk. Jeff Sessions as his first attorney general until he finally had to fire him because there was something, I forget what it was, it doesn't matter, that Sessions would not do. It was a bridge too far even for an old racist bat fucker like Jeff Sessions. And then, oh yeah, that's right. It was Sessions who said no when Trump told him to shut down the Russiagate examination back in 2016, when Putin and the Russian trolls, the Russian demons, these little imps and son of a bitches who ran roughshod over our electoral system, made sure that Trump got elected in 2016. And Justice Department employees at that time protested loudly that many of the decisions made by this orange bastard on multiple occasions was just bullshit, had nothing to do with the U.S. Constitution. And in 2020, according to Reuters news agency, in 2020, it says here, a team of federal prosecutors handling the case against Trump loyalist Roger Stone withdrew. One of those prosecutors later told Congress the group left to protest what they said was the political pressure to let Roger Stone alone. And Roger Stone has been an evil little fuck ever since the Gore George W. Bush contest all the way back in 2000, 24 years ago. Roger Stone is one of these little Nazi fucks who is nothing, has never done anything to justify the fact that his mama's egg and his daddy's sperm got together, probably in a drunken orgy, and produced him. He's never done anything to justify that. Nothing. And of course, members of the Justice Department, these career attorneys, they also really heavily criticized Attorney General Barr at the time for dropping the criminal charges against Michael Flynn, that traitorous son of a bitch. 4-star general who now is a Christian nutfuck who wants to tear down the White House and build a huge church. Okay, I'm making that up, but I wouldn't be surprised. Anyway, they also, critics within the Justice Department said the first go-around, Trump did his goddamnedest to try to force the firing of then U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman in Manhattan because Berman's office was investigating Rudolph Giuliani. Jesus Christ. You see what we're up against. You see what is going to happen. I don't know how to address people who voted for Trump.
Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.